Yo, what's going on, Bennett? How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Man, welcome home, bro. This is another homecoming episode. And you're in town for like a week. How long you been in town?
I've been here since Wednesday, and I leave tomorrow, so just a week.
Oh, so you're out of here tomorrow. And what are you doing in town, man?
I had to come down and work on a super important single. It's dropping March 9th. It's called On Time, featuring this man over here, Nate Traveler.
We got a boy Nate here holding up some Narrative Coffee.
Shout out Narrative Coffee.
Shout out Narrative Coffee, one of our sponsors, always holding us down and giving us free coffee, and just wants to make sure that Curate stays alive and keeps doing what it's doing. But we have this series called Homecoming, and what we want to do is that we just we love when people go on and not just go on, but like they move out and they do some other things in other cities, bigger cities maybe. And whenever you come home, we just want to be like, yo, like what's going on? What are you doing? How's life? And I know you've been doing some things in music and music business and stuff like that. So we just love to catch up, let the people know what you're doing. But let's kind of go back a little bit. Like, where are you from originally, man?
So I was originally born in Boston, and then my family moved down to the East Coast when I was probably like 3 or 4. And then my parents went through the divorce. My mom dipped, and we ended up in Naples just like completely by coincidence. We were staying in like a hotel for like a year off of Pine Ridge, and we just she got a job, worked her way up, and I went to school like all throughout here. So yeah, Naples is my home. For
sure, man. So you said, what age did your parents get divorced?
Like 5.
Mine was 2. I was like 2 years old. Obviously can't remember that stuff. So do you like going back and forth at all parent wise? Like
I used to. Yeah, my dad is not the best person. Shout out Jim Bennett.
I love the shout out.
Yeah.
I love the shout out.
He knows it's good.
Yeah, he knows it's good. Hey, he knows what it is.
I haven't talked to him in like probably like 4 years. Like every once in a while he'll like give me a call or something, but like we don't. Do
you ever feel like that? If, like obviously it does, but like you ever feel like that? Like your parent, you're growing up, like comes out in your music at all? Like
less so on my music. I feel like a lot of the music I've been making, like especially lately, has been like less personal, which is kind of like the point of my next project, is to kind of break that. But it's definitely just affected like who I am and how I approach like people in general. You know what I mean? Because my mom is like an angel, and so she just like raised me like, and like it was like I don't know. I was just risen. I was like a rose. I don't know.
You rose from the grave.
I was rose from the raised by kind of like an angel and a devil kind of thing. You know? I mean, not to say no one's all perfect. And
for sure.
But I really like from an early age just like learned like, oh, this is how not to treat people. And like, oh, this is how to treat people like. And so my mom's just always been such a like pioneer of like following your heart, like being happy, treating people like the way you want to be treated, like spreading love always. For sure. When did you start making music, man? So I started. It's actually a really funny story. So my cousin Alex, shout out Alex. He's like 4 years older than me, and he was always like that really cool older cousin that like you look up to. He started like smoking weed way before everybody. You know what I mean?
Before it was cool.
I was and I was just legit, and I was like, oh my god, he's smoking weed. Like this kid's crazy. And but I just like super looked up to him. I thought he was the shit. And so one day he came to visit. I was probably like in 6th or 7th grade, and he always was my plug for music, because like growing up in my family, like there wasn't a lot of rap being played like in my household. It was like fucking
what was being played?
I don't know. My mom has like a good taste in music, but it's definitely like like Fleetwood Mac and you know what I mean, like that kind of shit. Yeah, it's super fire, but like not rap. Not rap. And she never grew up around it. And so my cousin was also my plug for music, so he'd be sending me like Lil Wayne mixtapes and like you know what I mean, just like all this shit, and I was just like listening to this like holy fuck, like this is it. Like this shit is sure. And so but I only like, because I didn't really know how internet worked. I didn't have like an iPhone at the time, so like I was really just like on the like whim of him, and like
whatever he showed you. Yeah, it was like he was your dealer.
My dealer. No, he was like my dealer. And so he came down, and he so he was in high school at the time, so he's like driving us around. He's like playing some music, and he's like, yo, I got some really secret shit to show you, but like you can't tell anybody. And I was like, show me, like I'm ready, like you know what I mean, like what's good. He presses play, and it's him. And he and his homies just like in his basement, he's from Virginia, had just like set up a little studio, like in rats, like it was trash, you know what I mean? But it was like the first time that all of a sudden it was like, whoa, like if I love something, I could do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to just sit and be an observer of like shit you love, like you can take a part in it. Sure. And so I was just like, I freaked out. I was like, let's write a song right now. And he was like, what? And I was like, bro, let's write some songs. Like, let's write some songs. He was like, okay, like sure. So we went back to the crib. We downloaded Jalo Beats, Crack Music 4.
Jalo Beats.
Yeah, shout out Jalo Beats. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. So real.
Shout out to Jalo.
And we wrote like 3 songs that night, and I'm so glad no record of them exists. But
don't you love that? Your shit's gone.
Nardwuar, you're gonna be a Nardwuar interview.
Yo, if I was on my Nardwuar shit, I'll pull out that first song. Cassette tape.
Yeah, so he left, and I just kept writing, kind of just in secret. Like I didn't really tell like my parents or my friends. Like it was just something that I loved to do. So I was just like doing remixes, like any song I liked, or just like whatever. And I was just writing, and from like 6th grade on, and then it was probably like junior year of high school. I was working at Starbucks, and this kid got hired, and he was mad quiet. His name was Ricky. Shouts out Ricky. And he, one day like he was so quiet, so like I was trying to like get him out of the shell, talk to him a little bit. So I was like, yo, like, what's good? We were just trying to shoot shit. And I was like, what kind of music you listen to? He's like, I really love rap, like J. Cole, like, blah, 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 names and names. And I was like, oh, bro, like, that's fine. He's like, yeah, I also write rap a little bit. And I was like, oh, shit, me too. Like, what's good?
Yeah.
And so that night we were closing. After we got off work, we just sat outside and just, like, spit bars to each other back and forth. And he was, like, looking at me like, yo, like, you could actually rap. And I was like, well, yeah, so can you? He's like, no, but like you could actually rap. And I was like,
he's like, I was playing.
Yeah,
you can actually
I was like, because I used to, because like before I started making like the like poppy music that I make now, like I was writing just like 40-bar verses. Like
who were your first influences rap wise? Like you said, Wayne.
Lil Wayne was like the biggest, and then like when I was in middle school, like then the whole Young Money thing like blew up. So then it was like Drake and Nicki and like that whole kind of like scene. But then when I got into high school and like more towards this time, like I was listening to a lot of Earl Sweatshirt, a lot of Isaiah Rashad, a lot of Kendrick, Frank.
A lot of lyrical.
A lot of lyrical people, and that's the type of music that I like to listen to. So that was the type of music I was trying to make. So I was writing all this shit, and I had 40-bar verses that were just like crazy, like 5-syllable rhyme schemes, like whatever. Like I was like super with the shit.
Were you singing it all back then?
No, nothing. It was not melodic at all.
Did you know you could sing back then?
No, I couldn't.
You couldn't. I
couldn't. It wasn't that I didn't know. I couldn't.
So when does one realize they like? Or so how do you take vocal lessons?
So
like, what happened?
No. So I honestly, my vocal lessons were probably just with Cappy, bro. Like he'd tell you stories where like I would write, because I always wrote melodies, and I would get like people to sing them. Like Ben Chandler, when I met him, he was like he changed my whole life, because he like allowed me to like make music that I wanted to make, because he could sing his ass off, like
for sure.
And so, but then I would keep trying to get like a little more advanced with my own melodies, and like there's sessions where Cappy was just like recording like 4 bars for like 2 hours, and I just like he's like, yeah, like you're
Shouts
almost
out to
there.
Cappy's
Like,
patience.
all the auto tune in the world, all the fucking, and it just wouldn't work. But it was just time and kind of like finding what particular tones of my voice like worked for myself. And then there was really one song, and it's a terrible song, and I took it down, which is funny. But when I went to school, I recorded the studio in Boston, the Bridge Sound and Stage, and we made a song called Promises. And it was a really bad song, but I hit, like for the first time, like I was hitting notes. Like I was like really hitting notes, and Cappy like listened to it when I came down for like Thanksgiving break, and we was like recording. He was like, yo, like who were you recording with? Like whatever. And I was like, oh, just like, somebody. He's like, I was freaking out, because I was like, what are they doing? Like, how are they doing that to your voice? That shit actually sounded good. And I was like, you know what I mean? Because we just had struggled for so long with my voice. So it was really just a developmental process. And it really was. It started with Cappy, and I met Cappy through Ricky, that kid from Starbucks. He introduced me to O'Darius, who is part of 17th Ave, what used to be 17th Ave. Okay. They're out in LA now. But me and Woody, shout out them. Me and Woody just got mad tight. I spent like all my time with Woody, and he and his brother Terry had been recording with Cappy,
which is Pitch Black.
Pitch Black, yeah. Shout out Pitch Black. Okay. And so that's how that all like went down, and then I met Cappy, and then it was just kind of like upwards from there, just like growing and learning. Because like when I first started recording with Cappy, I was trying to make that like Earl Sweatshirt like music, and it was just garbage. Like I just couldn't. My voice wasn't right. Like it just wasn't what I was meant to do, and I was so disheartened, because I was like, this type of music I love.
What was the first project that you put out?
That's a tricky situation. So like technically speaking, I released a project called 9, 2016, that was not any new songs on it whatsoever. So once I kind of finished that period of my life of just like experimenting with music, I was like, you know what? I don't know how to give all these songs like a proper burial of sorts. You know what I mean? So I just put them all cohesively into one project. had a concept for it, and re-released them all.
Right.
I ended up taking that down because I was like, because a lot of the songs on there I've now just like really outgrown that. So I took a lot of them down. The only ones still up from that project are the song 9, The Light, March 19th.
Right. So you made...
That was my first project, and then shortly after that, we made The Year We Got Right.
Okay. Yeah. Which is great. I love, first off.
Thank you, Doug.
Really great. And so one of the things I love about some of the music you put out is some of the collaborations. You're definitely a big collab person, which is so dope, man, especially for this town, man. I think it promotes just like everyone coming together.
Yeah.
And you've made some music with the homie Nate over here. So you obviously, who are some of your favorites? You got, obviously, you got Nate, you got Ben Chandler is one of them.
Dom, obviously. Dom and Nate probably taught me the most about like music. Like Dom, Nate, and Cappy are probably the reason that I've been able to do what I've been able to do. Because there's a whole other aspect of it where like, because of the type of music I'm making and because of the way I look and present myself, like I don't necessarily like get thrown into immediate conversations about like MCs and neighbors. Right. Or, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like it's a kind of different lane. And for a while I was kind of like, yo, what the fuck? Like 2 years ago, I was kind of like, why am I not getting? You know what I mean? Like what the fuck? I'm making music with all the same people. They're popping.
What did you think about the top 10 MC list? Did you disagree?
I have.
Should we put your name in it? Should we put your name?
No. Not at all. Not at all. Bro, but here's the thing. So here's the thing. Yo, let's chill. But listen, so really, but my idea, so the lesson that I kind of taught me, and really Nate and Dom really helped me like see this, was like, bro, I don't exist, Nate doesn't exist, Dom doesn't exist, you don't exist. None of this shit really matters. Like what's left at the end of the day is like what we make people feel, what, you know what I mean? Like what we contributed to the greater thing that we're all here for. Like that's the only thing that matters. So it's like, why the fuck do I care if my name is on the list?
If your name is on it.
Like, cause that doesn't matter. Cause like Options probably has more plays on it between Spotify, between all streaming services than maybe most of those people on that list.
Sure.
And so it's like, yeah, I might not be as talented as some of them, I might not be as like whatever, but like I'm not tripping off of that, because at the end of the day, my only end goal is to reach people, is to like make people feel some type of way, to make, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if my name's attached.
Is that why you make music? Is like,
that's
why do you think you make music?
And that's why I make super like collaborations, because like I've gotten flack before from certain people, you know what I mean, being like, oh, I can't find a single Bennett song, you know what I mean, like just you. And I was like, yeah, because who the fuck cares? Like it's music, like and music is supposed to be good. And like if a song is better with a Dom verse than a Brennan verse, hell yeah, I'm gonna put Dom on it.
That's like Kanye West's mentality, right? You know, bro, he's like, he doesn't care if you're in the room and you go, that word should be dog instead of hog, and it makes it better. Then you get credit, and it's cool. Let's collab.
He'll have 30 people.
Yeah, it'll be like
he won't even write some of his songs, because he's just like, because if someone else is gonna write a better verse, then fuck yeah, like
it's about the music.
It's about the music, and when you say it's about the music, what you're really saying is it's about how that music affects and reaches people. And so like that's my thing, that, you know what I mean, when I because I take my marketing super seriously, I take my business super seriously.
You do.
Because at the end of the day, not because because it's more money, not because it's more like whatever. I mean, those things come as side effects of you reaching more people. The more people you reach, the more
people are gonna feel what you want them to feel, for sure.
Yeah, and so it's like that to me is the end goal. All the other things, I'm not. I mean, I'll take money. I'll take, you know what I mean. Like that's
okay.
Great. I'll take.
My question is then, how do you? We're talking about it a little bit off camera, but how do you balance like this passion, this big overall reason for doing what you do, this passion, this love, and then the business side of the music? And it seems like, kudos to you, it seems like you have your business kind of figured out. You seem like you have a plan and stuff. So how do you mix music business with music love and passion?
First of all, just having the right people around you is 90% of it.
Yeah.
If you have people around you that genuinely just want to see you succeed, but are smart and know what they're doing, you know what I mean? Like it's mutually beneficial for everyone. Like that's the thing. If a song succeeds, everyone involved in that song succeeds. Like, and so it's like, for me, like the only people I'm signed to a management team called Gold Coast Collective out of Chicago. Okay. I was approached by Ethan Larson. Shout out to Ethan. This past year, and you know, initially I was just like, nah, I'm not signing shit. And he's like, no, look, this is not like a official, you know what I mean, super intense contract. Like, I just want to help you. That's it. Period. I believe in your music. I believe in you. Anything I set up for you, any show I book you, any feature I get you, I'll get 10%. You own everything.
Right.
And so it's like shit like that. Like when you own your own music and are smart about owning your own music, and you have people around you that are willing to like, and just building relationships, bro. The more you give to people, the more you receive. Like to the point where like we're making this song right now, you know what I mean? And we're trying to get it sent out for mastering. And Cappy's like, yo, like, you have the money for that? Because if not, like, I can try to toss you a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and like Cappy's the one I'm paying. You know what I mean? So it's like, but when you build those relationships, when you treat people like people and kind of focus on everybody's individual aspirations, like, the money becomes like,
secondary.
It really just becomes secondary. And like, not secondary in the sense that you're ignoring it, but secondary in the sense that's like, yeah, okay, like we made this track. Like Cappy produced it, you get 50%. Nate's on the hook, he gets 25%. I'm on the rest, I get 25%. Period. Like, end of story. Like
it's the last thing he thinks about is like money. Like he funded Life Factory and Alone.
Yeah, I'll pay for all of Nate's shit because it's like, because again, like that shit doesn't matter. I'm not in the BMI credits. I'm not on the copyright for that shit because I don't care. At the end of the day, I know if Nate succeeds, I succeed too.
Because guess what? I, as much as I thank Nate for his project, I thank you too, right? Yeah, because it was a part, right?
I picked up my stuff from Life Factory. I picked up my stuff, and I just went to LA.
Bro, that was the funniest story, bro.
Can you finish my project for me? Like,
he had like 3 songs that were completely finished. The other 3 were either unmixed and unmastered or completely unarranged. Prayers was nothing. Prayers was a skeleton of the song.
What do you mean? Prayers is everything,
bro. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Every part of that song after like, we just like, he left us with probably like a semi-verse and a semi-hook, and we just chopped it up, put things in places, did shit with the beat, you know what I mean? And so shit like that. Like I think Renaissance at the time didn't have a verse on it, so we got Dom in there and like we finessed that verse, and you know what I mean? So shit like that. And like to me, that's the thing, is like the process of making music and the process of watching it reach people in a certain way is so much more rewarding than like having my name be on something, having my name. So that's why when it comes to things like to curate top 10 lists, like I think that's a dope thing for the community because rap is a competitive sport. You gotta have it. You gotta have it. You at the end of the day, that shit is never leaving. But for me personally, and how I feel about things, it's like I could care less where my name is as long as I'm contributing to something that's going to positively impact the world. And I know that I'm doing it in the right way where like, so Nate blows up off of Alone, you know what I mean? No, I don't technically have writing credits. I don't technically have whatever, even though I was like a huge part of it. But like, it's not like that man's going to be like, all right, peace out. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck that shit. It's all going to come back around, you know what I mean? You give.
So let's talk about your music, man. Let's talk about where you're at, you know. Obviously, if you haven't checked out his Brendan Bennett's music, I checked that SoundCloud out with some fire stuff, and it is so.
Spotify, Apple Music,
everywhere. Stop playing, you know.
Click the link at the bottom.
Click the link. Put the link in there. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Right. But you know, just talk about some of the. We'll get into some of like your content, but like musically, where have you like? You're at a place where, you know, your project is coming out. It's called Pop Tracks and Love Songs.
Yeah.
So what is this thing with pop? Like, what is this? First off, how do you even define pop?
Bro, that's
like, what is that anyway?
It's so
fast. I feel like rap is pop now. Like, what is pop?
It is. So pop, by definition, is popular. Popular culture. It's music that is popular. So right now, the biggest pop star, in my opinion, is Drake.
Right, for sure.
So like, pop to me has nothing to do with like we associate it with like Katy Perry and Sia and Taylor Swift and certain people, but like that pop as a actually isn't supposed to be defined as a genre of music in the sense of like, oh, these characteristics make a song pop. It's supposed to be if it's popular. But I use pop because rap nowadays is going through such a renaissance, and there's so many different subgenres of rap, and we're not like the greater media, the greater like society at large has not kind of picked up on that. So it's really hard to define certain kinds of music nowadays, because like I love, like one of my favorite artists is like Smino, you know what I mean, and like some like up and coming people. It's like, yeah, he raps, but like, is that rap? Like, I don't know. It's just it gets super weird.
You know what's happening with rap is that what happened with rock is that in the subgenres, right?
Yeah,
like punk, metal, right?
Exactly.
But we always go, this is rap. Which is why like a Post Malone or the different people are like, I'm not a rapper, or Little Uzi's like, I'm not a rapper. It's like, I get that because you know what? They're not, in a sense, they're not. They're not.
And it's like,
you can't be out here pushing those individuals as if
into boxes, right? And so that's why Drake boycotted the Grammys, because Hotline Bling was up for Best Rap Song, and he was like, I'm sorry, when did I rap in that song? like that is a pop song. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't understand what.
For sure.
It's just an outdated concept. So for me, I just use it more as a way because the way people associate pop music, I would consider myself in a pop rap kind of category in the sense that it's like, you know, big hooks, really melodic, really cheerful, you know, positive messages, and that shit like radio friendly, like whatever that shit means.
The way I kind of like zoom in on that is like it's pop because the palette of it is palatable for across a big, you know, a big crowd of people, and that's where I don't think pop is like, oh, it's just why is Katy Perry or Taylor Swift songs poppy?
No, because we all know every Katy Perry and every
because we can all exactly.
That shit comes on, you're like, like shake it up, shake it up,
exactly.
Like, what? Like since when did I hear this song? Like I don't even remember hearing this song. But
so how do you make pop songs? So how do you make? Because you come from this very rich background of rap and lyrical, miracle, spiritual, right? And then you have this pop sound that you're kind of coming out of your expression and stuff. How do you mix now? How does your content? Because the weird thing is, right? It seems the stereotype is that pop songs have less meaning,
no substance,
no substance. So obviously that's not true for you. How do you join those two?
So I think a great example. So I would use two examples of the best people to me that have found a balance that like I've really drawn inspiration from. Chance the Rapper does an amazing job, for sure, in my opinion, of keeping that, you know, and he's really hard to define. And he has another element of like gospel Christian, like bro, so he's added. So he can have like the trap 808s with like the gospel choir and the pop hook, and you're like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like what? But his substance is there. You know what I mean? He finds a way to like make a song that like every single fucking white kid in the fraternity is like, you don't got no problem. But like the message of that song is like real, like labels be raping people, and you know what I mean? And like if one more label tries to stop me, you know what I mean? I don't know, that shit's like hard, and like that project is a beautiful project for that, because it's like, oh, it's Drake's dumb pop song, but like you listen to those words, like I can't do this on my own. Someone watching this shit close. I feel good sometimes. I don't. Come on, bro. That's a bar. That's like a bar, bro. And it's just like a perfect balance where like he has these lines where he's talking about the fact that like his whole life is like a plan of like a higher power, but at the same time he'll be like, she said, "Do you love me?" I told her, "Love you, party." Because he knows like how to balance those things out. You know what I mean? Where he can still have all the white girls. He says things that he knows that the basic white girl's gonna quote on Facebook. That shit is the most important, because at the end of the day, like when a song is quotable, like when a song says something, you're just like, I gotta tweak that. Like that's the realest shit. Like that means it's so real that you feel like they just said something so appropriate to your life that it's your own thought. Like they make I've said that already to three girls. Like I'm like they make you think, I'm sorry. Yeah, bro, for real, because we all do. Like, yeah, I love you, but like you're not. And he dropped the beat too. He dropped the beat for that. Bro, when I first heard that song, did that and Diplomatic Immunity dropped, and it was like midnight, and I was fucking wasted. And we were I have a suite style like living in my college right now. And so we were just like 10 of us were in there, like a couple girls drinking, and I was like, bro, Jake just dropped a song, like I'm gonna put this shit on. So we play it, and we're just like whatever, and the first beat drops after the like, I don't like it when you loving on me. We were just like, oh shit, you know what I mean, whatever. And then when that part came on, we like stopped, and we're like, he's like, she said, do you love me? We're all like, none of us is moving, and then we hear the bar, we're like, oh shit, and then that beat comes in, and it was over. And I was like, bro, this is gonna be Drake's biggest hit. Like this is it. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, so for me to kind of bring that full circle is like, you know, popular means it can reach everyone, because it doesn't have borders. Everyone can relate to it. That's the ideal. That's the ideal goal for me, is that like anyone could listen and relate to my music in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? So it's like trying to incorporate like these super catchy, super ear candy sounds, but keeping a sort of substance, a sort of content, a sort of whatever that people can relate to, that people feel like almost like anthemy. You know what I mean? Like keep it like, because at the end of the day, you know, it's funny because making me and Nate's music like has been such a dichotomy for me, where like I have friends who will hit me up about Alone and be like, yo, like this shit just like got me through like the darkest time of my life. Same, bro, you know what I mean? Like that shit. And then I have people hit me up on like a pop song, like, yo, like this shit, like just like every time I'm down, I just put this shit on, it's an immediate smile. Like, you know what I mean? It brightens my day. So it's like this weird dynamic where they're both doing the same thing. And the problem is, in the rap community, there's the word real is the worst fucking word.
It's been hijacked for sure.
Because it's such a subjective world. Because what's subjective?
It's my truth.
What's real to you is not real to me necessarily.
Yeah.
What's real to me is not real to you. So it's like, oh, but he makes real music. Like, what the fuck?
No, you mean he makes
like,
music that you relate to.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you
That's
mean.
what you mean.
It's a lazy way.
Nate's real is different than your real, than different than my real.
And that's just how it is.
There's a lot of shade around pop too, bro. Just like
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
that's what I'm
sing and rap like we don't even know, bro. Like we got it coming, you know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of haters, dude. And
well, yeah, and
just look at Post. Like.
Definitely. I mean, Post kind of did some stuff to himself with some race shit. But whatever. I love Post. I love the fact that like when he first came out, he's like, "Yo, stop! You can't stop define me." His background's country. His dad's a big country. You know, like all these different things. And I think he makes country music. Like he did a Fleetwood Mac cover on his.
I heard.
Bro, I listened to that shit.
That shit is so.
Bro, and then he switched it up after, and he goes into. Like it slows down some trippy shit.
That
but
is fire.
I really love the fact that we're talking about like the real thing, because I think that's one of the things that we've like a lot of people in the music industry and people who consume music go, oh, I think it's real. No, I mean that his story, his truth relates to your truth.
And so like, because I used to be the worst when I was listening to like Earl and Kendrick and Isaiah and like all these people. I would be like someone played Future, I was like, turn that bullshit off. Like, this isn't real. Like, you know what I mean? I was off rip, just like, fuck that. Like, I don't know, because like, why though? And then like, the more I started like having an open mind, I'm like, bro, Future is so fucking fire, bro.
And then Future
Travis
says
Scott
super,
is so fire.
Yeah.
Amigos are so fire. Like, you know what I mean? In their own way. Like, so it's like, and like that music reaches people for a reason. Exactly. And so it's like to put someone in a box to put these labels of like real, not real, like genuine, like people are, you know what I mean, like so making shit out of their own experiences. And so like for me, my biggest goal with this next project, right, on my single that's coming out March 9th, I have a line. Last year was a rough patch of dumb wrongs, and all I did was make pop tracks and love songs. And so to me, that's the realest line I probably ever wrote, and really the thesis of this project.
Why is that?
Because, you know, I was going through a lot last year, you know what I mean? I've been struggling my whole life with like a lot of shit, and so it's just funny because if you listen to my music or see me on social media, if that's your only interaction with me, you're like, damn, this kid is the happiest, most positive. Like I walk in the room, people are like, oh, he just radiates light, you know what I mean? And like when I was in high school, I released a song called The Light, and everyone just started calling me The Light, like, oh, you're the light, like you make my, and I'm just like, but inside I'm like, but why do I feel so fucking dark? Like, you know what I mean? Like why do I? So it's kind of been this shit. So it's like, so if I feel these ways, like why am I just making pop tracks and love songs? So it's like the idea of this project is kind of an ironic title in a sense, because it is gonna be my style. It's that kind of
musically it's gonna be your style.
Musically it's gonna be my style, but I'm finding ways to reincorporate these messages that I have been feeling and these thoughts and these opinions. You know what I mean? Like this song is about to come out. I feel like is a great example of where my music's headed. This is like a new beginning for me, because a lot of the lyrics in that are just like super real and super personal, but like you'll find yourself just like you know, bobbing to it. And so like that's to me like the
so you it's interesting because again, you know, I've had my own journey with mental health, right? And even listening to Alone, talking to Nate, right? So you have all these different layers of mental health and different things you've dealt with. You saying that you've been through some stuff, right? That's and it's coming out in your music, or even you saying that like people see you and they're like, oh my God, you're so happy, and then when you are, it's like almost like you feel like when you are sad, you don't want to.
Because I don't want to ruin.
You don't want people's rooms for day. You don't want to walk in the room if you're sad and you walk in the room and everyone's like, well, what's wrong, Brandon?
I'm like, nothing.
What's wrong? And you're like, oh, no, it's fine, it's cool. And you're like, and it's like this. Bro. What happens is you become like this high functioning, depressed, anxious. Like I've been doing a lot of anxiety the past couple of weeks, but everyone's affected by my mood.
Right, so that's the thing. It's funny because there's a lot of people. The same people that rely on you to be the light, they're not ashamed of the way they're feeling. They'll run up to you in 5 seconds and be like, oh my God, I'm dealing with this, and I'm so fucking blah, 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 blah. And you know what I mean? So it's like, I think that mentality is really dangerous, and it's something that I've been really trying to work on, because like, the second you prevent yourself from like expressing that because you're worried about how other people are going to perceive you, because you're worried about like ruining other people's moods. Like you're kind of taking away from the human experience of like
you're not letting me be.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the realest shit ever, even whether it's like to the level of mental illness or not, everyone suffers a lot, and it's becoming more okay to talk about. And people are more, especially our generation, is kind of looking around like, what the fuck is
what
going
are we doing?
on? Like, what is the point?
What's going on?
Like, I don't know. And so, like, I feel like that dialogue is just, like, important. So, like, pretending, you know what I mean? There's the perks and the, you know, but Rari had a beautiful post because he just split with his record label. And he said, you know, labels thrive off of a deity worshiper mentality. Where like the artist is like this untouchable
demigod type
perfect
shit.
They know they can express it, they know, and I'm just a, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna look up to them because, but like, and he's like, and that's just not real. Like that doesn't make me feel like that's not how this works. Because I am you. We are all the same.
He's trying to make the connection to y'all.
Yeah, and he's trying to be like, so now he's just going in the woods and like putting on free shows and like meeting people. And like, bro, he's so fire. He's so fire. And so it's like, and like obviously like, you know, to be successful in the music industry, there is going to be always that aspect of kind of like imbalance. But you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I'm really trying to break that. You know what I mean? And at least like in the way that Kid Cudi did. You know what I mean? Kid Cudi came out and was like, yo, I'm so fucking depressed and suicidal. I feel just like you. But like, you know what I mean? And people still. He
was telling us his whole career though. You know?
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
It's
he has been from like his first mixtape, like.
and it's interesting though because we look at people who or even like a Chester from Linkin Park, right? Or like, you know, people who have like they've told us their whole career. Their music is expressing, look, I am sad, I am depressed, I am an addict, and then something happens, and we're like, yeah, and then we're like, oh my God, no, what happened? Yeah. What do you mean? They've been telling us the journey that they've been on, right? Like Cudi, even like there was this iconic picture of Kanye and Cudi hugging on stage on the Yeezus, not Yeezus, but the Life of Pablo, and they're hugging each other. Kanye's going on these rants, he's crying. Cudi comes on stage with him, and it's like Kanye's been telling you the whole time he's been sad. He's on fucking all depression medication, bipolar, right? Like, people in their music they tell you. So like if they see Nate has been vulnerable about his life in Alone and Life Factory. So like, he's giving me his human experience. Right. And I have to realize that is his human experience and not just music. You're actually like in a room alone, dancing by yourself. Like, you know, like that's...
Bro, for real. And so that's like the eternal struggle. Shout out Kid Quest because he talked about this the other day. He said like, as an artist, I'm constantly worried about being misunderstood. He said something like, I can't tell what's worse, being misunderstood or being fully understood. Because it's so scary. Because like, if you're making projects like Alone and you're putting yourself out there and everyone's just like, oh my God, you're so great, like love you. Like all of a sudden you're like, people don't even know what I'm going through. People, you know what I mean? It's like they don't understand me at all. But then if people are like, yo, are you okay?
Get it.
You know what I mean? Like,
if people actually get,
whoa, like, you know what I mean? I don't need you up in my life like that. Like I don't. So it's like. So for me, I feel like my music, I hope it is an opportunity to kind of approach certain subjects and kind of talk about like the triumph that comes with overcoming those things. And so like that's the funny thing. It's like I haven't necessarily overcome a lot of things I'm still working on. You know what I mean? But I treat my music as like a victory lap. Like every time I make a song, I want it to feel like a victory lap of like overcoming that. You know what I mean? Or overcoming anything. Like so. You know, that's kind of my way of approaching the situation musically, just because that's my brand and that's the way that.
So what's the love song aspect to the whole? You got pop tracks, you got love. What's the love? I mean, you got Broken Heart, like, or is it just love songs generally, like stuff you experience? Like, what is that about?
Ooh, let me not get myself in trouble here.
No. Shouts out to you, whatever girl that is.
No, don't do that. Yeah,
I don't even know who it is.
Yeah, no, it's. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Go ahead. It's more. I use that line. I use that line more because there just was a lot of songs like last year that I made that almost all. I hate making love songs. I hate it.
Really?
Because it's real to an extent that like exceeds like because if you're famous and you're making a love song, like you kind of have a degree of like anonymity over like who it's about and like whatever. But like being in
Your
my
friends
position,
know you.
everyone's like,
Like, yo,
texting like certain people that being like, oh shit, I just heard he.
yo,
said,
Ashley done
I
fucked you
heard,
up.
I heard he said you had some crazy head, and you're just like, oh, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? You know what I mean? So it's like, no, bro, it's like, because it's real. Like, I had a girl show her younger sister showed her whole family that's Home X I Loved Her, and that song is not PG, folks. Like,
Oh,
and so it's just like,
Hey, well, life ain't PG, bro.
life ain't sorry, man.
I know.
Sorry, bro.
But it's just like, so I hate it because it's like really vulnerable and it immediately puts you in like this really weird position. And I've tried because like, so even with the Home X I Loved Her, even with other songs, like I have tried to write it in a very objective way. Like, obviously, as an artist, you draw on your own experiences, and so there's going to be correlation in real life. But when I make love songs, I try my best to stay completely out of reality because I don't want to put myself in certain situations, bro. Like, I Told Me I Loved Her was the biggest headache of my life. Like, you have no idea what that song put me through. But it's a fire song.
So what can people expect? You know, I'll put this out same week as your single being released.
Yeah.
What can people expect from the single and from when's the project coming out? After
Project's coming out this summer.
This summer.
Yeah, I don't have a date for it.
Okay,
but it's
so
coming out this summer.
what can people just expect from the track and what do you want people to?
Yeah, so
with?
the track in particular, the song is called On Time, and it's kind of really, like I said, the thesis of this whole idea that we've been talking about, where, you know, for so long I've been making these super pop songs and living a kind of life that's like not necessarily true to like who I am, in a lot of regards. So the song, you know, the hook is kind of, you know, Nate wrote the hook, and it's kind of like us talking to ourselves in the mirror, like, when I look in your eyes, I see right through you.
You try to walk away.
I'll follow.
How low?
Yeah,
And how low you trying to go?
Like, how low are you trying? Like, I'll follow you where you're going, but like, how low are you really trying to take? Like, how? You know what I mean? It's like, and it's like, how long until you realize like everything is on time, like everything happens exactly when it's supposed to, and like, how long are you gonna realize that everything's all right? Like, stop tripping. Like, stop tripping. And so like, this song. So it's like a really kind of like an inception where it's like the song is about the song in a way of like, this is my version of not stopping running for myself, and like kind of the anthem to stop doing that. But it's about a song about stop running. You know what I mean? So it's like funny in that regard. But so that song in particular, I'm really excited about, and it's really catchy. The flows on it are super nice. It's gonna really be banging the lips.
My favorite Brennan song yet.
Yeah. The flows I hit. I mean, Cappy. Like, I gotta shout out Cappy.
Yeah, shout out Cappy, man.
Because he just be finessing vocals like it's nothing. But
what?
And then the project in general, you know what I mean? The initial idea I had for it, I was going to call it a really good song. And the idea behind that was, you know, Nate last year when we made Life Factory, we had a couple labels kind of over us and you know, giving us the beats and kind of telling us what to do with them. And Nate grew frustrated with the whole process, and because it was a really power dynamic-y, like, but this is my music, like, this is my life, you know what I mean? Like, how do I not have control over my own life? And so he kind of took a U-turn without my knowledge and just dropped it on SoundCloud. It was like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. And but then this time around when we made Alone, it was such a different process because it was like all the production was like from homies. And then it was just me, Nate, and Cappy, like in the studio every time, like writing about real life, like, right, you know what I mean? Like talking out the red wine. You know, and it was so, and it was like in our control, and it kind of like I just had this moment where I was like, damn, like all of the power is in our hands. Like, just with us, we can make a song that changed the world. And all it takes to change the world is one really good song.
3 minutes. That's
The Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah, 3 minutes can change the world. Pursuit of Happiness, Soundtrack to My Life.
Fuck.
That shit can change the world.
Soundtrack to My Life. No, for sure.
Soundtrack to My Life is my favorite Kid Cudi song. But so it's like for me, it was just gonna be a collection of really good songs in that sense of like I just wanted every song and like have it be like cohesive sonically, but not necessarily like conceptually. Just have it be like, yo, like what we do, you know what I mean, and the passion that we have for this and whatever. Like, just with a really good song, like, we can change people's lives. We can take over the world. So now the kind of I just like the title "Pop Tracks and Love Songs" better, and I think it's super ironic too because it's the opposite of what I'm trying to do. You know?
No, it's good. I like it. It juxtaposes it pretty well, and man, I think the role you've been able to play in this area, even from afar, you really have, man. Like your collaborative efforts and your just lack of pride and humility when it comes to that, and the collaboration has been cool. And I'm super excited to hear this project, to hear the single. So before we get out of here, what's next for you, man? Like what's set up? Obviously, you got the single, you got the project, but anything like in the future for you, man, that you see?
So this year is going to be my last semester at school. I'm going to take next year off at least, and focus on music. We're making super secret project for Nate that we're probably gonna talk to some important people about how that's gonna get released, and so that's gonna be a big thing. I'll be executive producing that, and Cappy will be producing that as well.
Sure.
And then my
project, a good formula.
Yeah, it's always a formula. Me, Cappy, and Nate in the same room.
That's what I'm saying.
Over every time.
On what you were just saying, bro. Like if us three are together in a room, we have the space, and we create the space, like it'll make it
every time. It's like perfect. And so it's like, and then my project under similar route. I just have a different management team. He doesn't have a management team, so they're approaching my project a little differently as far as we're gonna release it instead of necessarily like sending that to labels beforehand and trying to make that happen. But we have some really good deals with Spotify coming up that they're really going to be promoting a lot of the music. We're doing a tour this summer, hopefully Chicago, LA, New York, Boston, Miami.
Let's get it.
Me and Nate. It's going to be crazy.
Let's get it.
We have the New York show coming up March 30th. Tickets are free. They'll be out soon if anyone's trying to slide. So we got Eddie's project. Eddie Rock's project. I executive produced.
What?
I'm featured on it. That shit, bro. That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Eddie has always been a great artist, but this just like he really just like leveled up.
For sure.
You know
Shouts out to the homie.
He did exactly what he wanted to do, and
Good.
Nate's on it too. We got it's a fire project that should be out late March, hopefully. Josiah, my homie Josiah, I'm executive producing his project. Josiah's fire. Yeah, he's probably dropping in April or May. So we got a lot of shit coming out, bro. We got a lot of shit coming. This year is gonna be a beautiful year. I'm super excited for everything.
Well, hey, dude, thank you for coming on, man. And dude, everything you're doing is great. All the collaborations, all the music. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Curate is probably the most positive thing that has come out of Florida in a long time. Like what you guys do, because not just there's a lot of people that and have done an amazing job at building community and building a platform for artists, but like you guys have, I feel like, really taken it to the next level.
Thank
you,
man.
Network.
Yeah, just like the
people see that and they immediately take us more serious.
Yeah, and it's like even just the content you guys put out. You got comedy, you got you know what I mean, bro. You just like so it's like it really just like makes this area and like all of the art in the area, not just music, not just rap, not just whatever, but just like really like kind of building this area up. So I appreciate everything you do.
That's the plan.
Like,
Thank you.
It's mutual.
Thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate you. I got some chicken from Publix in the oven. I'm about to work.
They get it.
Hey man, I love you, brother. Hey, thank y'all for watching Homecoming. I forgot what episode this is, but make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go check the shit out. Check out the new single that's coming out. Stay tuned for the summer for the project. Make sure you follow them on all socials: Instagram, SoundCloud,
33 Bennett,
Spotify, fucking iTunes, Amazon, nigga, fucking everything, bro.
If you got it, I'm on it. Tell Alexa, hey Alexa, Brendan Bennett.
Yo,
she'll do it.
Try that out.
And how she will.
It's crazy.
All right, y'all. Peace.